Good day and welcome to Natural Health Dialogue. Today we're privileged to have naturopathic Dr. Kim Anderson with us on the fourth podcast of the month where we cover flower essences. And so today's flower essence, well, I'm just going to let naturopathic Dr. Kim Anderson talk about that. What is the flower essence we're going to focus on today?
Joseph, have you ever been disappointed?
Once or twice, yes.
Once or twice, yeah. Do we live on planet Earth and not experience disappointment?
Yeah, exactly.
The key is not to be discouraged, right?
But how do you do that?
Exactly. So even if we experience that discouragement, we don't want to get to a point where we don't even want to try anything because we are so disappointed and we're so discouraged. So this is where I like the flower essence Gentian. This is something that Dr. Edward Bach, the doctor that developed the flower essence therapy,
right,
he said that this flower essence is very good for those who are easily discouraged. They may be progressing well in an illness or in their daily affairs, but any small delay or any small hindrance or obstacle, and they just lose heart. They just get so discouraged. And so even though it's very human for us to experience disappointment, to have discouragement, we don't want just every little thing that's coming at us to throw us off course. We want to have that belief and that faith that even those times of discouragement are going to be, they're going to work out for our good. And that's where Gentian comes in.
Now that's Gentian.
Yes. Yep, that's it, Gentian. And it's not to be confused. I think there's something out there called Gentian Violet that medical doctors use. This is not connected to that in any way. This is a flower essence. Gentian has actually been used, the root and the flower has been used herbally, the actual plant, for quite some time for things like digestive issues, bloating, diarrhea. But we're talking about the flower essence. So not the actual plant, but that vibrational therapy that can come from plants. So again, this is just something that, helps us to take those challenges that we may face and not be discouraged by them. There's a German doctor by the name of Dr. Blom, he wrote a book called The Advanced Bach Flower Therapy. And he said, one who can benefit from Gentian is someone who will pass up an opportunity simply because, and there's no reason for it. There's no justification for it. They will just pass it up because they've already decided in their mind that it's not going to turn out well. So again, if we get into that place in life where we feel like we're not even pursuing a passion, we're not even pursuing a dream, we've convinced ourselves that it's just not going to turn out. We're just going to be disappointed. Gentian is something to help get over that hurdle. Would you say
that it also might help us prevent us from being triggered by a discouraging event? So let's say I'm driving home from work, and I know, because I have 3 little kids, there's going to be chaos in my house.
As soon as you get home.
And perhaps when I walk in, discouragement might happen,
Yes.
So I take some of this stuff on the way home and then walk in, and I have I'm less likely to be triggered by something.
I think that's a good point, especially if you're feeling like, I'm not sure if I even want to walk through that door.
I mean, who hasn't felt that, right?
Exactly. So again, Dr. Blom, explains, if you're not even wanting to pursue that activity, you're thinking, I just don't even know if I want to do that, then yeah, Gentian is a very good option. And as we talked about before in our previous podcast, these are very simple products to use. Drop them under your tongue. You can even use a spray. So yeah, I think that's a good scenario where you're thinking, I'm not even sure if I want to do this. So
use a spray. This is safe to do while driving too.
There you go. So yeah, absolutely. I think that would be something, and any other activity, work, at the beginning of my article, as our listeners, they can go onto our website and read some of the articles about the topics that we talk about here on the podcast. I just mentioned a few things that can be disappointing. Now, losing a job, a relationship that doesn't turn out the way that you hope. You need to pay a bill, but there's, the bank account is not reflecting that, you have the ability to do that. Or just this past weekend, we went to visit my grandchildren, and my grandson's final game of the season, soccer game, was canceled due to the weather. And it was a little disappointing, that we didn't get to see his final game, but yet we got to spend some excellent time with him doing some other activities. So it worked out really well. And I think really this flower is about moving us from a place of doubt and discouragement to moving us to a place of faith, so that so no matter what discouraging or disappointing events may take place, then we can have a faith that it's going to work out. Romans 8:28 tells us that God works all those things out for our good. So Gentian is really good to help us to move into that faith, because I need faith to trust that verse, to trust that God is going to do that on my behalf. So Gentian is really good to help move us into that state of getting through those obstacles and those challenges, knowing that they're going to work out for us. Just like in the case of my grandson, it was disappointing to not be able to see him. He was disappointed that he didn't get to play, but by gosh, we really had a great time. We went and saw a movie, and we just got to spend some really good time together. Now, I want to make it clear that I realize that my disappointment over a canceled game is nothing compared to what can really happen, what can happen in life that can be so discouraging. And Gentian can be so beneficial even in those heavier disappointments. In fact, Gentian can be really good for depression. We talked last month about mustard and how we talked about how it's very beneficial for those states of depression that just come out of the blue. We don't even know what the reason is. Gentian is good when you know what that reason is. And a lot of times disappointment is connected to that. And there's that sadness and depression that is related to that. And it can be something much heavier, such as divorce or the loss of a loved one, loss of a job, where we know what is causing that depressive state. Gentian is really good for that, to help move us through that state, to have a faith that even though this is a very, very challenging time, that God is moving us through that, and he's going to work those things out for us. We know that challenging times can help grow our faith. And so if we get stuck, we want that Gentian can be really beneficial, because it takes iron to sharpen iron, doesn't it, Joseph?
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that.
So we have those obstacles that we're going to face in life, no matter what.
So you're saying that Gentian can help us, or maybe if I'm getting this right, can help us keep a proper perspective on the circumstances that are happening?
Yes. Exactly. I like the way you worded that. It does. It helps us keep a proper perspective, and to just have a faith, kind of move from a doubting Thomas to this is going to be okay. This is going to work out. I don't see how, but I know that God does, and I know that he can work those things out. And again, iron sharpens iron. We need those times of conflict to help grow us. We're going to face them. So if we're just feeling like we're stuck, we can't move forward, we can't get through this, we're not even going to pursue any opportunities, whether they're relational opportunities or a job opportunity, we're not going to do it because we're just going to be disappointed. Gentian is a good flower essence to use in those times to help us move forward, to help us to have the confidence maybe to pursue that relationship or to pursue that job. So again, I think it's just really good to have in our arsenal, if you will, for good, solid emotional health.
So is this something? Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, because we're not going to get off planet Earth without any disappointments.
No, afraid not. Now, one more final question here. Is Gentian something that you take before an event, during an event, or after an event, or all the above?
All the above. Yep.
Okay.
Third door. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
You can take, the example that you gave earlier, especially if you know that, okay, I'm getting ready to go, engage in an activity that I know can be discouraging.
Mm-hmm.
Take it before, you're walking through something very challenging. You don't even know if you're going to have the strength to continue. Take the Gentian. And then if you're just heavy into it, if we have a listener today that they have just been struggling, this is resonating with them, then we would love to help our listeners to, if Gentian is not right for you, then we would love to help you with any flower essence or any supplement to help you just have that faith, to keep going, that God has great plans for us, and we just have to have the faith for that.
Amen. Thank you, Kim. And we look forward to getting with you next time. Thank you all for listening. And until next time, we'll see you later.